CQ RAYNET, CQ RAYNET. This is Golf 4 November Romeo Charlie, operated today by Greg, Golf 0 Delta Uniform Bravo, serving as net control for the RAYNET UK weekly activity net. This net meets each Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time and is open to all amateur radio operators interested in emergency communications. The primary purpose of the net is to provide the opportunity to provide members to exchange opinions and equipment, traffic, news, any other information, and additional information can be found on the website at www.raynet-uk.net. This is a directed net, which means all calls are to be made to the net control unless you are advised otherwise, and all RAYNET UK operators are invited and encouraged to check into the net. When you do check in, please announce your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your name. If you wish to leave the net immediately, then please call in and out. If you wish to leave on subsequent terms, then make it very clear that you want to leave at that time. After I've heard a few calls, I'll repeat who I've heard. If you're not acknowledged, then please do try again, and I will call for any strays that missed their turn at the end of the UK section and the international section. So I'll now begin taking check-ins to the RAYNET UK weekly activity period, as usual in call sign number order, starting with stations with figure 8. Figure 8 of their call sign. Please call now. This is G4 NRC.
G4 NRC, G8 KLC, Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie. Name's Phil, and we'll listen through this week. G8 KLC.
Golf 8 Echo Yankee. Name is Mike.
Golf 4 November Romeo Charlie has got Phil. Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie, and by listening through, I'm presuming that means in and out. You're just checking in, Phil. I'll check that in a moment. Also, Golf 8 Echo Yankees. So G8 KLC, you in and out? Are you participating? G4 NRC, over.
G8 KLC, my apologies, participating.
G4 NRC, participating. Okay, any other 8s, please? G4 NRC, over. G4 NRC, nothing heard, so let's have stations figure 7 in their call signs, please go ahead. G4 NRC, over. Mike 7, Alpha Victor Oscar. G4 NRC's got Graham, Golf 7 November Echo Hotel, and Dave, Mike 7 Alpha Victor Oscar. Any other 7s, please? G4 NRC, over. For NRC, so let's have 6s. Stations figure 6 and their call sign, please go ahead. G4 NRC, over.
Golf 6, Papa Delta Echo, in and out, please, Greg.
G4 NRC's got Chris, Golf 6 Papa Delta Echo, and got you in and out, Chris, thank you. Mike 6 November Yankee India, would you like to try again? Had less than a fraction of a second of a call from you, so try again, please. G4 NRC, over. Mike 6 November Yankee India, G4 NRC. That's odd. I can see you coming in on the RAYNET UK side of the server. It's not actually getting through to Brandmeister, and there was no audio on the transmission. I'll leave you on the list, Alan. I'll call you prospectively when we come around next time. Just see if there's a time issue or something else. Any other sixes, please? G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, nothing seen or heard, so let's stations with figure 5. Figure 5, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over. Four and RC, no 5s, let's go for the 4s then. Stations figure 4. Figure 4 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over.
George 4 Echo, Kilo Mexico, station runs no traffic in and out.
Oh, 4 India Sierra November, and the Leicester group, just in and out this time, great.
Golf 4 Kilo India Lima, Philip participating, over.
A4 and RC, okay, I've got Steve, Golf 4 Echo Kilo Mike, noted some packet loss on you though, Steve. Andy, Golf 4 India Sierra November, both of those in and out, and Philip, Golf 4 Kilo India Lima. Any other 4s, please? G4 and RC, over.
Golf 4 Hotel U4 Foxtrot, fell as well.
G4 and RC, good afternoon, Phil, G4HUF. There's a traffic jam of 4s, which is unusual. Okay, stations figure 3. Figure 3 in that call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over.
Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, in and out.
G4 and RC's got Ian, Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, in and out. Thank you, Ian. Any other 3s, please, over. G4 and RC, nothing heard, so let's go for the 2s, intermediate 2s especially. Stations with a 2 in their call sign, go ahead now. G4 and RC, over.
2 Echo 0 Charlie Mike Sierra, calling from Midway Group. Two Zero XTA, calling from Essex Raynet.
G4 and RC, good afternoon to Colin, to Echo 0 Charlie Mike Sierra, and Jason to Echo 0 X-Ray Tango Alpha. Any other 2 stations, please, over. For an RC, nothing seen or heard, so let's have 1. Stations figure 1 in that call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over.
Golf Mike 1, X-Ray Echo Alpha, Peter, and better be in and out again this week. I'll be listening, but not available. Over.
G4 and RC, good afternoon, Peter, Golf Mike 1 X-Ray Echo Alpha, copied you in and out. Any other 1s, please? G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, nothing heard, so enter the rich pickings of zeros. Starting as usual for Mike Zero stations, of any regional secondary identifier, please go now. G4 and RC, over.
Mike Zulu Foxtrot, Jason, Southwest Hans Raynet, participating.
Mike Zero, Juliet Sierra. Alpha.
Mike Zero Whiskey X-Ray Golf, Shirley in Cornwall, in and out. Thank you, Greg.
Mike Zero, India Tango Mike, Andy with Shirley in Cornwall, also in the net. Thank you.
G4 and RC has got Jason Mike Zero Zulu Foxtrot and Alan Mike Zero Juliet Sierra Alpha staying with me, and Shirley Mike Zero Whiskey X-Ray Golf in and out, and Andy Mike Zero India Tango Mike also in and out. But Andy, you were showing some packet loss on the Brandmeister side of the world, 6% getting back to me, so not sure why. Any other Mike Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, please go now. G4 and RC, over.
M0, in and out. Good afternoon. Mike Zero, November Alpha Sierra, in and out, and I've just got out of bed.
For an RC, I'm not sure that's pushed too much detail on that one or not. Okay, good afternoon, Paul, Mike Zero Lima Oscar Mike, and Neil, Mike Zero November Alpha Sierra, heading off for a breakfast or something similar. Okay, good afternoon to you both. Next, it's Golf Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, please. G4 and RC, over.
Golf Zero, Oscar Zulu Sierra Mobile, East Suffolk, in and out.
So in and out this afternoon, Greg, thank you. Over. Golf Zero, Charlie Foxtrot, Bravo, Richard East Suffolk, Raynet, in and out.
G4 and RC. Okay, we've got Ian Golf Zero Oscar Zulu Sierra Mobile in and out. Good afternoon to you, Ian. Andy Golf Whiskey Zero Juliet Lima X-Ray and Richard Golf Zero Charlie Foxtrot Bravo, both also in and out. Everybody's really adopted this thing that Alan JSA has to finish the night off. Any other Golf Zero stations of any regional secondary identifier, please? G4 and RC, over. For an RC, anything heard? Any UK stations who missed their turn to call in? Who wish to do so, please call now. G4 and RC, over.
G1 GRW South Sussex.
For an RC, okay, I'm going to call for repeat. Nick, Golf 1 Golf Romeo Whiskey, acknowledged to you. Chris, Golf 3 Victor Echo Hotel, would you go again, please? You double with Nick wonderfully. G3 VEH, G for an RC, over. Right, G4 and RC, I'm getting confused myself. G3VH is actually calling the echo test talk group, so I'm not sure if Chris is staying with us or not. So that might explain the other one that was heading to echo test as well. So I might have a Chris. We'll confirm in a moment. Let's see if we've got any international liaison stations. So any international stations joining the net today, usually Nord-Samband in Norway, Arran in Ireland, etc. Please call now. G4 and RC, over. The second call for any international stations to join the net. G4 and RC, over. Okay, no internationals. So, Chris, G3VH, are you with me on this talk group? Golf 3 Victor Echo Hotel, G4 and RC, over.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
G4 and RC, G3VH, on the other rig now. Okay, it's in and out this afternoon from North West Hampshire. Greg, thanks for running the nest. G3VH.
G3VH, Golf 4 November Romeo Charlie, no problem Chris, copied you in and out. Yeah, unfortunately the way I have the other windows set up on the other computer, because the logging machine is the one right in front of me, I've covered over what talk groups people are hailing, so I actually have the script and the Pi-Star feedback from Brandmeister to hand. So I don't actually see what you're calling in on, which can be a problem. Okay, that's 25 check-ins, which is very good. Reminder to all of you that the net is being live streamed by Graham, G7 in the H to YouTube today. Live stream and recording will be available by searching G7 in the H, that's Golf 7 November Echo Hotel, on youtube.com. Apologies for the background to my video, which is messier than usual, but the door currently can't shut because there's a big linear amp in the way, so apologies, that will move and I'll try and tidy up. So after saying the grid was responding well last week, we then had 2 periods where National Grid requested energy-saving measures, so I'll stay away from doing any forecasting this week and just note that UK gas storage is at around 58%, and note that in grid terms at least the average temperatures, or what they call the composite weather variable, is pretty much on the way up from now. So unless we have some really unseasonable weather, which is still a possibility to put some pressure on things, we should be through the coldest parts in their world at least. Noted not many user service events happened in January, but some creep into the calendar of February, and including some of the frequent nets, like the Essex net on 23531. So hopefully more to talk about soon than AGM season. But the request is that we have our next Committee of Management meeting on the 13th of February, so if you've got anything to chase us about or get progress on or to raise, please do so with your ZC before then. But after that, I'm asking for any input from the rest of the country. So, first on the list is Phil, Golf 8, Kilo Lima Charlie, G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC from KLC. Very good afternoon, Greg, and to everybody else. Not much to report this week. Something I've sort of noticed over the last couple of weeks, and it may be something or it may be nothing, but I have the impression that the packet loss figures are slowly rising. We've got at least 4 or 5 people on today that have some packet loss, 4 in the reds and 1 in the green. I think that's a bit high, but I haven't got the notes to back it up, just a feeling. And on a similar vein, I was listening to the Essex net, and they were coming up on the dashboard, but I was getting almost no audio. There was lots of packet losses going on. Certainly I could not use it as a net under any circumstances. I don't know whether it was because I was listening on the company's server and they were not on the company server and the bridge wasn't working properly, or what was going on. But very high level of packet loss. And third and finally, Do you need an email from me, or will this do to nudge you for COM? G4NRC, G8KLC.
KLC, G4NRC returning. Yeah, I kind of got the feeling, Phil, that we've got increased stations of packet loss. But when I go back to the middle of COVID, when the system was being set up, we had far worse. So yeah, appreciate we could have everybody sorted, and now we've got problems creeping back in. Didn't get a chance to listen to the SXNet myself. We'll see what comments other people might have. But I've noted in the log that comment, and we'll see what happens next week. And the nudge for COM, yeah, that's good enough. The other side about this being the last night of January is I've realised we're 1 month into the work year and I'm already 1 month behind. So just join some of the other stuff. Okay, Phil, noted. I will get some time to do stuff at some point, I'm sure. Next, it's Mike, Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC from G8EEY. Yes, I noticed a few reds in the loss column. I usually get a bit of BER at 0.2%. So, how I know it's all working. I've never managed to get rid of that bit. Weather here, 6 degrees centigrade, 1021 millibars, 86% relative humidity, 95% cloud cover, and 15-mile-an-hour winds from 260 degrees, so westerly keeping us moderately warm. Nothing too much to add from here. Just a reminder to anybody who's in a group in Zone 4 that I would like the information on their involvement in Exercise Lima and Exercise Mighty Oak, if they haven't already sent it to me. From G8EEY.
Echo Echo Yankee, G4NRC. Okay, yeah. So concurring on the packet loss issues, your weather all copied correctly, and the reminder to Zone 4 groups about involvement in Ex Lima and Mighty Oak is also noted. Moving ahead to Graham, G7 and EH with information also G4HUF. I have an ad hoc meeting with one of our Cheshire emergency planning officers on Thursday. He's coming to work. He wanted to have a chat to me before we got near Exercise Mighty Oak ourselves and to see how things were going. So I was going to take the approach from the emergency planner as possibly giving me slightly more reliable information than we get through our Red Cross liaison to feed back into the local resilience forum. So that'll be Thursday lunchtime. I'll be having that meeting. Anyway, let's get the viewing figures now from Graham. G7 and EH, G4NRC, over.
Yeah, G4NRC, G7NH returning. Yeah, good afternoon, Greg, and good afternoon to all on the net. Yeah, I've only got one radio today, so and I'm playing about with a new mixer with a microphone plugged in. So the audio on YouTube is coming out on the microphone, and the obviously audio to people listening on the radio is coming out via the radio. Viewing figures for last week were in total 50 views, which is very good, and 10 likes. And a big thank you to all those who subscribed to the channel over the last week. To about 47 subscribers now, which is really good. And yeah, thank you very much. Okay, not a lot else to add from this end. I'll drop out at this point, Greg. So don't bring me in the next round unless you actually need to. So back to you, G4NRC, G7NEH.
G7NEH, G4NRC returning. Okay, yeah, I heard an echo before and got the idea you were playing with something different on the audio side. Okay, excellent data. Noted you are out on this one. Thanks for that. And maybe you've got us to play some radio with the new toys. For those who are interested, and there is only a few hours left for the Americans and a few around the planet, this is Winter Field Day that started at 7 o'clock last night UTC and running through to 1900 tonight. A field day that is done with emergency communications in mind in the middle of winter for most people taking part. Might have had a video from Graham and myself and maybe Dave if we'd actually gone out and done something about it, but after a few years of poor European attendance it kind of didn't hit my radar quite as much, and now I'm reading lots of people having lots of good QSOs, so we'll see what happens. At least it was nice to have a contest with an emergency field. Okay, next to you, Dave, who needs to rebuild his shack. Mike 7, Alpha Victor Oscar, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, Mike 7, Alpha Victor Oscar. Yeah, good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, bit of shack rebuilding after yesterday's very kind donation collection of some HF and other radio equipment that was passed on to me from a retiring ham further up the village. So I've got the Kenwood actually up and running, been listening on it, the TS870. And yeah, sorry, your doorstop, I might be guilty of that as well. Back to you, Greg, Mike 7, Alpha Victor Oscar.
For double there, Mike 7, Alpha Victor Oscar, G4NRC returning. Yeah, no problem, Dave. I do just need to move stuff around. Lisa has now got in mind the time I will head south, so your linear might move in an appropriate direction at that point. And enjoy listening on the new gear. Right, next is my debatable station, Alan, whether he's staying with us or not. Mike 6, November Yankee India. I wonder if we've got audio from you now on G4NRC, over. Mike 6, November Yankee India, G4NRC, over. Okay, G4NRC, nothing from Alan, he must have checked out, so it's next to Philip, Golf 4 Kilo and Dear Lima, G4NRC, over. Golf 4 Kilo and Dear Lima, G4KIL, G4NRC, over. G4NRC, let's keep going to the find a station that works. G4HUF, Golf 4 Hotel Uniform Foxtrot, G4NRC, over.
This is G4HUF. Good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, everyone else. Noted about your meet on Thursday. Interestingly, I'll be seeing one of our emergency planning people on Friday at Warrington, and should hopefully be seeing somebody from Halton the following week. I can get it organised.
that's really all I've got to report on, because this last week I've spent more time dealing with transport issues. Basically sort the car out with a new battery and then take a jolly up to North Yorkshire to indulge my pleasures with Heritage Railways. So less activity as far as RAYNET is concerned this week. G4 NRC, G4 HUF. G4 HUF, G4 NRC. Yeah, I'd seen the emails go by that you were testing equipment out at Orrington and Holton, so that's good. Those are two emergency planners that are very switched on, and we're very switched on at Exercise Lima about what the requirements were. So I will try and get you an email on Thursday night, although I am travelling on business that night. So you're at least a bit prepped if anything does come out of the Thursday meeting that you might need to know about. And yeah, car issues take over. You've reminded me my MOT is due, which is something else that's got to get sorted. Okay, next south to Colin, to Echo Zero, Charlie Mike Sierra, G4 NRC, over.
Yeah, from 20 CMS. Yeah, afternoon, Greg. Afternoon, everybody. It's going to be a busy week this week, I think. Got Tuesday evening, we've got our local resilience forum meeting, which is our quarterly event. And then Thursday, we've got the instant liaison training that we're doing a vehicle and capabilities demonstration for. The last one, there was vehicles from the fire brigade and police and ambulance, kin search and rescue, the blood transport people, and a couple of other people as well. But a huge amount of emergency planners from across across the whole county and even further afield. I think there's about 20-25 last time. I believe it's going to be the same sort of event this time. I think there's going to be the Salvation Army with their refreshment wagon as well, so I won't have to crack out the butane stove and cook myself up a cup of tea as well this time. Apart from that, we've got our usual meetings starting up for some of our events coming up, but nothing else to add at the moment. Oh, apart from I think we've just written a little thing for checkpoint on the Starlink as well, Greg. From 20 CMS.
To Echo Zero, Charlie Mike Sierra, G4 NRC. Yep, okay, well, good luck with the instant liaison training where you're doing some demonstrations. Part of the good bits about this net is just for other counties to observe what's happening, because it is a thorn in my side at the moment that in some counties the emergency planners are going, oh, you're RAYNET, you've got so many members, and that's it, that's the extent of their interest, or anything coming back by way of any training, and it feels like a long time since we've had any exercises, notwithstanding COVID, where we've actually had some decent engagement with them in some areas. So keep it going, but everybody else that's suffering with lack of exercises, highlight Colin, because Colin's county can. I'm sure Jason's can as well. 2 Echo Zero, X-Ray Tango Alpha, G4 NRC, over.
G4 NRC, this is 20XTA via GB7CL, Platinum C. Yes, good afternoon to all. Thank you, Greg, for your email earlier on this week regarding the Mighty Oak. I am compiling a response to you and we'll get that to you shortly. I won't discuss the details of from Essex over this net, but hopefully it will answer your questions. I'm currently in the progress of writing a checkpoint article on how Essex went digital over the last 3 or 4 years, so I hope to have that with Kathy, I think, by next week, ready for the next magazine. Essex RAYNET held its first 23531 net this week on DMR, which seemed to go well. There was a little bit of we're not quite sure what was going on, but we found that some stations could hear everyone and some couldn't hear anyone at all. That's probably just some network linking somewhere, but for the most part it worked really well, and we're really thankful that we could use it. So thank you very much to Guy for setting that up, and we're looking forward to using it again. Won't be this week coming, it will be the following week. So we've got our Cascade Net this week on traditional FM RF, so looking forward to giving that a go. And got a few meetings this week with local councils to see about power resilience, so we'll see what comes from that, and hopefully have an update for you maybe next week or thereafter. So I'm going to hand it back to you. G4NRC 30XT8 6 RAYNET.
2 Echo 0, X-ray Tango off, G4NRC. Yeah, no problem. I'll look forward to getting the email and seeing the checkpoint article. One of the things that's been pushed back by work and some dragging issues within RAYNET has been, I'm going to repeat the technical survey we did 5 years ago or so, seeing what groups were using and what they'd got. I'm actually really hoping to see a big shift in the questions about digital modes, because our engagement 5 years ago was not great and it was spread across a number of modes. I'm hoping we are seeing now this is homing down onto 2 or 3 specifics at most, which would be good. Okay, next it's Jason, Mike 0, Mike Zulu Foxtrot, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, Mike 0, Mike Zulu Fox. Yes, good afternoon, Greg and all. First time I'm back on the net post-New Year, so Happy New Year, everyone. As I've mentioned previously on the net, Southwest Hants RAYNET have been working on WEXNet, or WETIX network, the off-grid Arden-based data network linking Hampshire County Council Winchester and Southampton City Council City Depot. So I'm pleased to report now that all of the permanent installation work is complete, and we have a fully functional link between Winchester and Southampton. So we're now in the process of bringing up the server infrastructure which runs the VoIP telephone exchange, email server and whatnot, and hooking up all the VoIP phones and stuff at the user service locations. And as a result of this WEXNet project, we've been engaging with the local LRS in Hampshire and Dorset, and I've given some very well-received presentations to these organisations. Interestingly, we've had a lot of interest, not just from the council, but other associated organisations, the Health Service, Environment Agency and others, and we're regularly invited now to the local emergency planning meetings, and are building contacts with all the various stakeholders, so it's been very exciting. It seems likely that we'll see proper funding for WEXNet at some point, especially to fund the vast quantities of batteries that we'll require. So watch this space. Other news from down this way in Southwest Hants RAYNET, our AGM's on Tuesday, and reference to digital communications. Recently the group had a substantial grant from Scottish Southern Electric Networks to purchase a complete set of DMR radios. So that will be bringing digital comms to our group. So that's the situation down here in Southampton, Greg. And with that, I'll pass it right back to you. G4NRC and 0 NZF in the group.
0 Mike Zulu Foxtrot, G4NRC returning. Okay, yeah, I've still got the data for your off-grid network and everything else on the desk here. Interesting, you've got the Winchester link set up. Next time I'm down in Winchester, since Junior is down there at university, then maybe I'll see what I can see if I do an Arden scan, if I can get some appropriate toys to work. We shall see. Anyway, good luck and congratulations on getting the grant out of SSE. They're very good in their areas. Unfortunately, not all local electricity companies are the same. Moving rapidly on. Alan, Mike 0, Juliet Sierra Alpha, G4NRC, over.
Yeah, good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, everybody from Suffolk. Yeah, same sort of weather as Mike has got up in Norfolk, unfortunately. We had a bit of a funny week. We had our AGM Saturday last, and we had a change of leadership. Ian G, who was the SSNO group controller. Richard Brindley, M0WRB, is now deputy. And we've got M7CBX as treasurer. sadly, I hate to report this, sadly our treasurer, Roland, G7RMQ, stood down at the AGM and promptly died on Wednesday. Went silent key Wednesday night, Wednesday morning. I don't know yet what caused it. He was not a super fit man by any means, but he was only 64. It's a great loss to the group. And RAYNET, it's done 28 years in RAYNET, some of which I think was in Essex, that was yet to be found. So that's the sad news. We've got a silent key in our group this very week. Radio-wise, not been doing a great deal, trying to work out Envy's aerials and verticals for top band and all that sort of stuff. Thinking of longer distance links. And now we've lost all the county links on the county council type buildings. And we're just looking ahead towards Mighty Oak and whatever's going to be involved in that. Back to you, Greg. G4 NRC M0 JSA the group.
Zero Juliet Sierra Alpha G4 NRC. Obviously sad news about Roland, and yeah, that's really awful timing. Obviously didn't feel anything bad the day before or even in the lead up to this. Very sudden and very shocking to everybody concerned. Hopefully what to put you on to helps out with some of the NVIS antennas stuff. Please do ping again if you want anything. I have got, but I don't reach for it because it will turn into an absolute disaster. A set of 3D printed antenna mounts to my left, which is a way of clustering mobile whips together so that you can set up a number of mobile whips on different bands and have them on a single feeder, which is something I want to try. Not NVIS, obviously enough, because they're vertical, but providing some localish comms that have quite some success using mobile whips when the large antennas here were not doing the job. It formed just a nice balance between picking up too much noise and getting enough signal to the far end to be heard. So there's plenty of solutions in the box, and that's part of the trouble. There is nothing that works reliably for everybody all the time. Okay, final one on the list on this turn is Nick. Golf 1, Golf Romeo Whiskey, G4 and RC, over.
G1 GRW, South East RAYNET. Just checking in, see what news is going on, and checking the hardware, making sure it's all working. So nothing further on me. G1 GRW.
Golf 1, Golf Romeo Whiskey, G4 and RC. Okay, fair point for twisting the net scripts around, actually. That's 0% packet loss as far as the Brandmeister side of the world is concerned after you've gone through the RAYNET server into the bridge. No bit error rate, which would be an indication of your radio being slightly off frequency, which was the reminder for whoever did mention it earlier about having fairly persistent bit error rate. But that is something you and your hotspot have to sort out. There are tools within PyStar that allow you to change, to test and then change the offset in your hotspot to get things lined up correctly and get a good signal through all the time. So Nick, very happy to say no problems with your signal. If you were just checking in for that, are you staying with us at the bitter end? That's before I do the second turn, or are you leaving us? It was a bit ambiguous what you said. Golf 1, Golf Romeo Whiskey, G4 and RC, over.
G1 GRW, and I'll continue monitoring for the time being. Over.
RC returning. Okay, thanks for that. Okay, we're going to head back up to the top of the list, checking if there's anything that's come through. I mean, again, comments about Arden Networks. I love you groups who've actually got locations where Arden is readily deployable, because of your terrain, for some areas it's a struggle just to get 2 meters back and forth, so a lot harder than that. Sorry, I'm looking down for those people because I've had some messages come in, and the way messages come in on the phone, I don't see all of them. So nothing seems to have come up other than people are probably having variable views of that packet loss. What I've just seen off the YouTube chat. Graham might make it clearer for me when we get to him. But yeah, Phil, definitely something to look for. And given Nick's comments about how we want to check equipment, maybe I should confirm on every check-in who's got any issues exactly at that time. G8KRC for any finals, G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC, G8KRC. No, nothing further there, Greg. I think we've covered everything I wanted to cover. Don't hold your breath for a lot of diesel activity up here. Any activity would be good, HI. But, you know, we're young, we're little, we're getting there. We've got 3 more members in the last month, so that's not bad going. G4 NRC, G8 KRC, just listening but won't come back.
It's KLC, G4 NRC. Yep, no problem. Understood. And, yeah, I think we just need to have hopefully a full and proper year this year. Everybody gets past the post-COVID nerves and events really do bounce back to where they were. New members, though, very good. I think I've had a couple over the last couple of months, which is a good sign for the group going forward. Okay, thanks for the final. Next it's to Mike, Golf 8 Echo Yankee, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC from G8EY. Yes, all comments noted. I must admit, when I hear about groups that have got nice locations where they can put fixed installations, oh, wouldn't that be nice? Unfortunately, everybody in this part of the world thinks that
So for those listening on YouTube, we seem to have lost G8EY's audio. He's showing up, as you can see, on the national dashboard, but I seem to have lost him from GB7WX. Don't know why that is. So apologies for this technical error. I just thought I'd drop in and say that as everything has gone silent. thanks to all those who've commented in the chat box today. Much appreciated and always valued. Greg doesn't actually watch the chat because he's watching other dashboards, but I've forwarded all relevant comments onto him, and he can respond as he sees fit. So let's see if EY has finished. Doesn't look like it. So we may have lost the RAYNET server feed. Thanks, Colin, for pointing that out on the chat. I can see that GATY is still showing on the RAYNET dashboard. I don't know what's going on. I ought to have some music to play at this point. Yeah, so it looks like the RAYNET server's gone down. So I'll just see if I can reach Greg by other means.
loaded them into the drones themselves and tested them out really to make sure everything's working properly and calibrated and you're using the latest firmware and everything. And they're all ready to go. So I think it's going to be a good day on Thursday, and a lot of contacts made hopefully as well.
Yeah, so well, guys, we switched to our groups. We're now on 23531 through Brandmeister. We'll continue the net on that one and see how we go. So I'll be quiet.
Yeah,
And,
it seems that
put
the
the net
server's
back on.
come back to life again. The web page has gone down, but the bridge obviously still isn't working between us and Brandmeister yet. But Guy is intervening through his repeater, so I'll go back and catch everybody I've missed on the calls and pick up the ones I've left behind on the other network when the bridge is restored. Anyway, hopefully good weather and hopefully no issues with the drones. Any finals from Jason? 2 Echo 0, X-Ray Tango Alpha, G4 and RC over.
G4 NRC 20XTA. Afternoon, Greg. Yeah, just to say that I will not be on this net next week, as the Essex RAYNET will be promoting themselves at the Canvey Rally, which we welcome anyone to come to, of course, to come see us or just see what you want to do. We've got some old equipment we'll be selling as well to help put some funds back into the group. And look, so I'll probably catch up with you guys on this net the week after, possibly. So I wish you all a 7-3 and our condolences on the loss of Roland as well from everyone here at Essex RAYNET. G4 NRC 2E0XTA.
Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, G4 and RC, go ahead over. In style from M0GY.
Understood, Guy. I was actually making it as a kind of a public announcement that people may need to disconnect and reconnect as well. T3ZA checks going to standby.
And then go back over to the other side and see if Bridge is back. So Mike 0, Mike Zulu Foxtrot. I think you're next. From over to you, Jason, G4 and RC, over. So just highlighting stations on the RAYNET HF side. Carried on the net on the Brandmeister side. I'm finishing up on Brandmeister, and then I'll come back to RAYNET UK since the bridge appears to be down, G4 and RC.
So I know the DMR will work, the encryption won't. It's a bit of a shame, but never mind. exciting days ahead. That would be nice to join in on his net. We'll just have a listen. Other than that, nothing else to say. Back to you, Greg. Have a great week and best 73.
G4 and RC, back to M0JSA. Okay, the Essex net is 2nd and 4th Wednesdays, as I recall, and their net times are in the RAYNET-UK calendar available via the website. So you can find it there, Alan, when they're on 22531. Okay, have a good week. Thanks for that. Just got one station left, and I'll flop back onto the other network and pick up any strays there. Nick, Golf 1, Golf Romeo Whiskey, G4 and RC. Are you with me on Brandmeister? G4 and RC, over. G4 and RC, that looks like a no. So G4 and RC is going to go back to 50235531, thanking everybody this side of the bridge for taking the time out to participate in the afternoon's net, and for recognising issues and dropping to the fallback network as required. Be careful, have a good week until next Sunday at 1600 local time. Enjoy. I'm going back to 23550235531, at which point I'm sure things will start working again, but who knows. G4 and RC changing to 50235531. Bye bye. Network, let's see who I've lost. On this side, G4HUF, G4HUF, any final from you, Phil? G4 and RC, over.
This is G4HUF. Yes, the only thing that I could say at the moment was that was bloody confusing. And under the circumstances, I'm glad I keep an eye on the YouTube feed at the same time as monitoring the radio. So just reminds me that I need to get the backup side of things sorted out, i.e. the Brandmeister talk group, if nothing else, because that's something I do need to do, is to sort out talk groups on my radio. So a useful reminder, I suppose.
G4 NRC to M0JSA. Yes, I was aware, Alan. I don't have promiscuous mode on, otherwise it'd be hell trying to listen to myself coming back on the other talk group. But I could see it has gone down at the end of Phil. G4HUF's over. So Guy was recounting, as I was flipping back and forth, that the server occasionally throws itself to really odd states, so it has all the right data, it just sends it to all the wrong locations. Which is probably why the bridge wasn't playing nicely and other things. So yeah, at least I've got Phil HUF recovered. We've just really got M0MZF and G1GRW who haven't closed out the net for properly. So I'm just going to hit refresh on the dashboard screen and see if that shows me when the server comes back for RAYNET-UK, and then I'll go and close the net up properly. M0JSA, G4 and RC, over. M0MZF, that'll do, M0MZF, for NRC. We seem to have servers joined again. So apologies for the split in networks, Jason. Anything final from you? G4 NRC, over.
Middle of that over. So, but as he just did, he was lamenting the difficulty of getting on top of high places, and I couldn't agree more. Down here at South West Hants, we've put in a huge amount of time and effort courting the council to sort of finally get permission to operate on top of their buildings. And if only our Winchester to Southampton link was in fact a line of sight. We've got 2 hops over various buildings to do, and we're trying to court various commercial people as well, and all sorts of stuff like that. So yes, I recognise those problems and empathise with you deeply. So that's all from me. Thanks very much for sorting out the chaos there as well, Guy. And I shall be back with another progress report at some point in the following weeks. So back to you there, Greg. G4 NRC M0MZF.
Mike Zero, Mike Zulu Foxtrot, G4 NRC. Okay. What it just happened to be that the local mobile phone companies put their antennas on the other side of the wall from the floor where the staff canteen was. So the residents were extremely sensitive about RF issues and what it was doing to them, so that any suggestion of putting anything more radio frequency related on top of that building got absolutely nowhere. So we've lost them, and most of our buildings now are private finance initiatives or just generally not big enough to count. So or asbestos mines is the other one we've got for one of our biggest hill. So not fantastic places to play with. So that's why we stay on the lower frequencies. Anyway, 7-3 to you. My only outstanding station to check in with PostNet then is Nick, Golf 1, Golf Romeo Whiskey, if you're still with us. G4 and RCF.
G1GRW. So thanks very much. Nothing further from me. Good afternoon to you and everybody else. G1NRC, G1GRW.
G1GRW, fantastic. At least we got contact before we closed the net. Thanks, Nick. So I think that is everybody checked in as we've got the net back together again. And through this reminds me that for me, once I could see that the net crashed with G8EY and then again subsequently on HUF transmission, reverting back to the Brandmeister side of the bridge for most channels or for most talk groups isn't really an option, but for 23531 we can always go backwards. Was it brought in an acronym I'm seeing a lot of from the American preppers and emergency communicators of PACE, where you do your frequency establishments by virtue of being primary, alternative, contingency and emergency. So you set up a fallback system of if things go wrong, here's where we're going to go next.
So I'm going to close the stream off. Greg seems to be dropping in and out, so quite a few technical issues I think this week with the server, and thanks to Guy for trying to sort things out. I'm sure it'll be sorted out pretty soon, knowing Guy. So I'm going to end the stream. Thanks very much for listening, watching this week, and we'll see you all next week. 7-3 for now.